And we are back with another regret story from MAGA. Here's Crystal's story.
I voted for Trump and I'm sorry.
I voted for Donald Trump and I am so sorry.
This is all going in the trash. I do not support Trump anymore. He's a liar. He's a part of the deep state. I do not support Israel. I will not be supporting him anymore. He's part of the deep state. He's committing genocide as we speak in Israel. And we all need to start waking up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, MAGA supporters, they are waking up and it is becoming more visible, especially online. I want us to watch this compilation of videos from the former MAGA supporters. They have come out and sent a strong message to the MAGA supporters. So kindly guys, watch this till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up.
It's the Great Awakening, Blue-Lulus. I think that psychics were right. They said that this year would be the year that everybody would open their eyes and we'd be able to see our country for what it really is. Is that what this feels like? Because I feel like there is some massive awakening happening right now. And if you're one of the people that were over there hanging out with him and you're suddenly realizing that that wasn't the place to be, I've just got a few reminders for you. You are not wrong that the blue team is imperfect. I agree with you about that 100%. I have no qualms about criticizing the DNC, but the reason why I have always chosen to put my tallies in for the blue team is because their policies are based on actual math and science. They love expertise and they utilize it every chance they get, whereas the red team does not. I'm 35 years old. Every single time a red person gets in here, they ruin the economy. All of the time. There's been 55 million jobs that have been added to the U.S. job sector in the last 25 years, and only 1 million of them have occurred during Republican presidencies. 1 million total of all of them. Because Republicans don't believe in math. Yesterday was the first day of Amazon Prime Day, and their sales are down 41%, and people are out here screaming recession, and I'm sure that that's true. That's because tariffs are inflationary. It makes people uneasy, and he just like whips them around all the time. And when people feel uncertain, they hold on to their money. If you don't feel secure, you're not going to go ahead and empty your Amazon wish list. But the Joker doesn't want to take any responsibility for that. He is calling on Jerome Powell to decrease the federal interest rate, just like he did back in 2020. He's calling Jerome Powell too late. Yeah, dude, your dad was... But back in 2020, he was successful in pressuring the Fed to drop the interest rates. And when he did that, the interest rates went from like 5% down to 2%, and there was a massive run on houses. And the average house, at least here in Colorado, went from about $400,000 to $650,000 in a year and a half. That's an increase of 25%. It was a feeding frenzy. People were just out there like chomping up houses, buying houses sight unseen, waiving inspections. And now 5 years later, these people are stuck in houses that they don't even actually like. And they feel like they can't leave because of their like 2.5% interest rate, right? And they're going to have to make really costly repairs if they want to leave, and they still won't be able to get what they paid for it. Dropping the interest rate sounds nice in theory, but if it's not done in accordance with everything else that's happening in the economy, it can be catastrophic, and it makes things more expensive for all of us. 40% of the inflation rate that we were complaining about during the Biden administration had to do with the cost of housing. That's why he had to make it go back up so high. Because Republicans screw stuff up, Democrats have to fix it. Everybody gets impatient about the fact that it takes longer than 10 minutes to fix something that took 4 years to break, and then we swing back the other way again. We don't have to continue to do that. Democrats make up 80% of the purchasing power in our entire country. Our cities give out more tax dollars than they take in. That's because our policies are based in expertise. Our economists are actually economists. The Surgeon General is a real surgeon. Our secretaries of defense tend to be highly experienced, decorated generals in the military, not creeps from Fox News. And I want that for you too. Your children deserve to have food, water, good schools, parks, museums, and libraries. And the reason why you've become averse to it is because your leadership manufactures scarcity because it makes you easier to manipulate. Because if you're not resentful of other marginalized communities, then you don't have anything to motivate you, right? Because that's the base of everything that the Joker has promised. It's like, I'm just going to make everything worse for them, and then you won't feel so alone. Where we're like, let's make everything better for everybody, even if it means that you don't necessarily get to be first anymore. But you will have a full tummy, you will have a full brain, you'll have the things that you need to survive. And that's worth it. Yeah? If you're one of those people that's waking up, I'm not mad at you. I understand that you have been manipulated systemically for decades to believe the things that he is saying. But if you look at the thing that Scam Blondie said yesterday, the prison, there was just 1 minute that was taken out, and that just so happened to be the only minute where this Floridian billionaire went from being wide awake to being half asleep. He absolutely knew that that was the exact 60 seconds that he had to do it, even though it typically takes more than 60 seconds sans oxygen to go from wide awake to fast asleep, and he couldn't have possibly had that information in the first place. And if anybody was watching, they would have absolutely gone on and intervened. Just that. If you think that it doesn't make sense that he would say that he has these files and then magically say that they don't exist, if that offends you and you're wide awake, please do not put your head back in the sand. Keep going. If you have any questions, I will answer them for you. And if I cannot, I will direct you towards somebody much smarter than me who can. And if you're already awake, I need you to grab on to the closest person that you love that is still asleep. Shake them, grab them, and run away as fast as you possibly can. Reach out to your lawmakers. Let them know that they do not have to continue to stand in lockstep with him. Make sure that you know that they'll still be with him if he stands up to them. And people on our side, we need to continue to reach out to our lawmakers and talk about this contest. Go check out Brandy. She just released a new video that showed the data from Ohio, and oh my gosh, this was taken from us, you guys. Just the same way that this whole Floridian billionaire thing was taken from you. They have taken from all of us, and we can divide and conquer in terms of figuring this out. Has a contest ever been decertified before? Absolutely not, but here we are. We are in uncharted waters, and we have to just take one step in front of the other, continue to stand up, and stand together. We will always be stronger together. Ants versus grasshoppers. I hope you take care of yourselves today. I hope you drink some yummy coffee. I hope you eat a yummy snack. And as always, keep your eyes up, keep your feet on the ground. See you next time. Ta-ta.
I have never seen more videos of MAGA leaving the movement than I have the last 2 days because of the Epstein files. And with that, I'm also seeing a ton of hate comments and stitches their way, and I get it. You know how I feel about that crowd, but hear me out. Cult deprogramming has never started with facts. People don't leave cults because all of a sudden logic and truth hits them. It starts with the little cracks in their belief system. Maybe a promised event didn't happen. Maybe their leader is starting to contradict some of the core values. Slowly, that contradiction creates discomfort, and usually one of two things will happen. One is they will double down that no matter what, we're here to stay, or two, they start to question everything. The instinct to hit them with, oh my God, it took this for you to get it, and where have you been all along, and it's too late now. But people who tend to fall for cults are looking for community and acceptance. So the more we push them, the more they're going to go back to their echo chambers where the current MAGAs are waiting to engulf them back. Truth is, the best person to reach a current MAGA is a former one, and that's just human nature. We're more inclined to listen to someone who's been where we are than someone who's been challenging and fighting us from the start. We don't need perfect allies. We need loud ones. And let's be honest, the only person louder than a current MAGA is hopefully a former one.
It's good to see more and more people recognizing that they were conned by Trump and declaring that they're leaving MAGA. And I know it's not easy. I know that you're probably pretty anxious about being shamed and condemned and dealing with the anger from people who already saw who he was and who read Project 2025. So I just want to say something about forgiveness. In my experience in life, forgiveness arises naturally when there are conditions of safety, when you know that the thing won't happen again. I do think that most people at least that I've encountered, have a desire to forgive, to reconnect, to transform conflict into cooperation. But if the conditions of safety are not restored, it's difficult to trust, right? So as people are coming out to acknowledge that they're leaving MAGA, I encourage you to be patient with the emotional reactions you might encounter, to seek to not take it personally, to find those who are able to hold space for and with you, maybe who've had a similar journey or who are just willing to extend that space holding because they get it on some level. And I'll say I have never supported Trump, but having come from a conservative family of origin, and as someone who is a mediator and is a social scientist, I enjoy holding space for people. I enjoy it. I see that as part of my work. So that is something that I'm willing to do. But please be patient with the fact that folks are going to have their feelings, and to have a sense of safety with you has to be earned. And I think one of the most valuable ways that you could earn that is to lean into taking action, joining some form of resistance, helping others leave MAGA, and demonstrating that over time. When trust is demonstrated over time, safety arises, and then forgiveness arises. And I do believe that deep down, there is a drive that we have as Americans, as humans, even across our many lines of difference. There is a drive to connect and to unite. So give it some time, but also thank you for waking up, and thank you for taking that first step of acknowledging, and in some cases, y'all are also apologizing, and we're listening. We do see that, and that is an important first step in rebuilding trust.
This is an open letter to MAGA, ex-friends and family members. You say that you can't understand why we won't talk to you anymore. You claim that you truly want to understand why we don't respond to your calls and texts anymore. You don't seem to understand or even care that you inflicted pain on the parts of society that aren't exactly like you. Most of us begged you not to go down that path, but you chose to do it anyway. But now you don't understand. Now you feel like that you're being victimized in some way. It's not that we hate you. We just now understand that we are grossly incompatible. We don't want to be around people who vote for cruelty or delight in the pain and suffering of others. We know that you saw him mock the disabled, mock rape victims, and you didn't care. You watched him demean women over and over again, and you didn't care. You listened to him lie over and over again about other cultures in the LGBT community, and you did not care. You may try to put it out of your head, but you know that he raped somebody. You know that he committed multiple felonies, yet you still don't care. You know he's trying to divide rather than to unite the country. He never tried to reach across the aisle. He demonized us, called us the enemy within, and your side just openly cheered for that. Anyone who supports him is either incredibly cruel or tragically stupid, or a combination of the two. We just don't want to have anything to do with anybody who is a member of any of those categories. For me personally, I don't know how many more years I have left on this planet, but I don't plan on wasting any of that time with people who place value on cruelty above all else.
You guys have got to let the people leaving MAGA figure this out on their own without bashing them to pieces in the comments. I get it. It's annoying. It took a long time. It took this. All of that is valid. Your feelings are valid. They are a lot of the reason how we got here in the first place. But if you don't allow them to figure this out without ridiculing them the entire time, then we are even more cooked than we thought. Because these people need to come to the light. I mean, they're in a cult. Do you know how hard it is to deprogram from a cult? Let them find community and common ground with us. It'll be okay. I understand that you're mad. We're all upset with them, disappointed in them. We can't believe it. We're like, how can you be so stupid? I get it. I feel that way too. But when they start realizing that the Trump regime is bullshit, we have to welcome that and say, good job. Yes, it sucks that it's taking this long, but we have to allow this to play out and let them come over here, because if not, like, we're even more cooked. Okay, bye.
The people who support that orange-stained suppository in the White House, and let's just call him President Dulcalax. Yeah, the people who support President Dulcalax, they don't much like me. And mostly they are MAGA men. They say nasty things about me. They make fun of my appearance, they make fun of my age, and they make fun of the fact that I'm gay. In fact, they seem to center on that. That seems to be an object of their focus, my sexual orientation. And I will tell you that living in a hostile society has given gay people a bit of extra perception. We call it gaydar, but we can tell who's gay and who isn't, for the most part. And I have a message for the MAGA men who are constantly attacking me over my sexual orientation. And that message is this: you have my permission to come out of the closet. I say that because as a gay man who has had to resort to circumspection, discretion, perception to determine who is friendly and who isn't, I can tell that a lot of these men are closeted homosexuals. And I feel the world would be a much better place if they simply admitted to themselves and to everyone around them that they prefer the company of men over women. I mean, they do worship what used to be a man. I would say that's a generous description. He's more like some kind of science fiction life form, but whatever. They call him Daddy. Wow. That belies some kind of deep psychological issue that I won't go into on this video. But yeah, they're the ones who are worshiping an orange-stained suppository, President Dulcalax. So, MAGA men, you have my permission to come out of the closet, to live your authentic lives, to be yourselves. I think it would be doing you a big favor. I think it would be doing the country a big favor. I think you would be doing the world a big favor. So come on out, MAGA men. The water's fine. If you lose a few friends, well, maybe they weren't your friends to begin with. If some family members shun you, well, join the club. Come on out, MAGA men. Admit it.
I voted for Donald Trump, and I am so sorry. Oh, no, I did not. I did not vote for Donald Trump, but I've been seeing these videos all over my For You page. There are so many people coming out of the woodwork now saying that they voted for Trump and that they have now realized their grave mistake. And I personally, I'm grateful to hear that people are absorbing the reality of what's happening around us and that they have the emotional intelligence and wherewithal to be able to examine their decisions and to be able to see the error of their ways. It is very interesting to me that a lot of these folks seem to have come to this conclusion solely based off of the recent news around the Epstein files. That wouldn't have been the straw that personally broke my camel's back, but you know, whatever it takes. I'm just glad that people are realizing that they were played, that they were duped, that they were sold a lie, and that this grifter is never going to follow through on his promises, and actually he's going to destroy all of us eventually. He and his people, because I don't even really think that Trump's the one that's actually in control of anything. I think that he's just another pawn in the bigger scheme of right-wing politics. And it's interesting when I go and look at the comments on some of these videos, because there are always people who are grateful to the person who has come around, and then there are always the people who are bitter and angry and resentful, and I get it. I totally get it. I understand those feelings. I also am going to have a very hard time trusting and moving forward with people who have changed their minds. Like, the damage has been done and is continuing to be done, and you helped us get there. So yeah, I'm glad that people are realizing that they made a mistake, but what we need to see now is action, positive action toward healing this damage and stopping it in its tracks. You know, like we have fallen very far down the slippery slope into fascism, and unfortunately we have given the wrong people power, and it is going to be very difficult to claw that back. And honestly, we may not ever get back to where we were before. Like, we might just have to hit rock bottom and survey the damage and figure out how to rebuild. There are a lot of people who are already being hurt, who have been hurt, who are going to continue to be hurt, and we're going to see a lot more destruction, I think, before we see things getting better. So yeah, I guess I'm grateful today that I don't have to make an apology video for who I voted for. I mean, and I'm not here to defend the Democrats either. Like, I think that most people who are in power right now are corrupt and have gotten there through evil means. There are a few political leaders out there who I think really are trying their best to do what's right for this country and the world, but not very many of them. So, you know, I get that we all kind of have to make choices between the lesser of two evils. I do think that the decisions that I have made have been consistent with my values and would put me on the right side of history. So thankful for that, and I'm thankful now that there are people who made different choices who are seeing that there's a better way. So I guess I'll just leave it there for now. And if you're watching this video and you're someone who regrets your vote, I just want you to know that it might be hard for some of us to just like wipe the slate clean. You know, like, we're gonna need to rebuild that trust that we've lost in each other. And I think that that is possible. And the first step is being able to admit that you played into the destruction of our democracy. Even when people were very loudly and clearly trying to tell you that these would be the consequences of that choice. So personally, I am willing to build bridges again. I'm willing to accept these apologies and try to move forward. And I will try to encourage my fellow progressives to also have open minds and open hearts, but we're gonna have to do some real work together. So welcome if you are coming into the fold of people who do not trust Donald J. Trump. Welcome.
Supporting him anymore. He's part of the deep state.
First and foremost, I have to say good job. And secondly, I know part of me kind of like wants to make fun of the situation, but at the same time, I feel like if people are actually waking up, it makes me wonder if many others are actually waking up to this. And as a genuine question, what was the red line for y'all, for anyone that's actually left? Was it suddenly because of like the Epstein list, because they said they had it, now they said there's not one that actually exists? Or was it something else recently that happened that made you want to leave this party? Like, I genuinely want to know. I'm not here to like start arguments or anything. And I know a lot of my previous content is based on FAFO, but it's kind of refreshing to see people waking up. And for anyone else that's actually watching this video, just let me know what your opinion about this is. Like, let me know what you think about him, if people are leaving, if it's refreshing to you, or if you still feel some sort of like way about it. Drop me a follow, like, share, comment, and repost as well.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a MAGA man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big, beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big, beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. I remember what happened in the 80s with trickle-down economics. Yeah, the filthy rich got richer, and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes. I'm disappointed for sure. I'm real disappointed.
I keep seeing video of MAGA saying that they regret their vote. And at first, I was actually a little hopeful, but then I listened longer and then realized, oh, you're not mad that other people got hurt. You're just mad because it didn't play out the way you had imagined. You didn't care when families were separated, when your LGBTQ neighbors lost their rights, when people unalived because of inadequate health care, and when entire communities are criminalized just for existing. Now you're mad because the Epstein files didn't drop and you didn't get your liberal takedown that you have been drooling over. Your favorite conspiracy didn't give you the satisfaction that you were promised, and now you're all like, that's not what I voted for. You weren't seeking justice, you were seeking revenge, and you feel cheated. I have seen maybe a couple people actually challenge their beliefs, but most are still fully on board with the cruelty, still completely warped in their thinking. Regret isn't about the damage done to others, it's about you not getting the win that you thought you would. So yeah, regret is a start. But if it doesn't lead to empathy, accountability, and actual change, it's just another tantrum dressed in a different outfit.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video from the MAGA people coming out and realizing that they did a mistake to vote for this new administration, because this new administration, it has lied for so many things. They think they voted for this administration so that this administration can help them in some of the things, but it has turned out that this administration, it isn't really it is not favoring also the MAGA people. Their policy, it is not affecting these other people, but also their policy, it is also affecting the MAGA people. And the MAGA people, they really want to quit the movement. So I'm going to tell you some of the reasons to why MAGA people, they are quitting the movement, and they are educating the MAGA people who are still in the movement also to move out of the movement. So number one is realizing they were lied to. A lot of former MAGA supporters now say they were manipulated or misled. Promises weren't kept, like draining the swamp, building the wall, or ending corruption. So you can see so many promises they weren't kept, like draining the swamp. Still up to now, the swamp, it is not, there's no drainage which it is going on, and also building the wall also, or ending corruption. There's too much corruption. So Trump surrounded himself with elites and insider, Goldman Sachs, big pharma. So you can see Donald Trump is being surrounded with elites and insiders. So this tell you that I've been telling you that Donald Trump government, it is the people who are government, they are the billionaires people, and these billionaires people, they are coming out with the policy which it is favoring them. They don't care the policy they are bringing if it is favoring the poor people or the middle class people. So they are coming with the policy which it is trying to favor the billionaires but not the poor people. And that's why I've been telling you that right now America, it is for the rich people. If you are rich in America, America will continue to make you more richer. But if you are poor in America right now, it is very hard for you to become a rich person in America, because American dream right now, it is slowly ending, and Donald Trump is bringing America down. And that's why majority of MAGA people, they have come out and realized. And then the second one, it is the narrative around election fraud. COVID or the justice system didn't deliver result. just drama. So some are saying we gave everything, time, money, loyalty, and they played us. So these are now the MAGA people. They are coming out and say, we gave everything, time, money, loyalty, and they played us. And also, let's go and see the reason number 2, burnout from grifting and culture war fatigue. Many MAGA influencers turn politics into a business. Constant donation request, emergency match emails, selling overpriced match. So you can see selling overpriced match, supplement or conspiracy laden news, using outrage to stay relevant even if it's divisive or dishonest. People are waking up and saying, we are tired of being milk. This isn't a movement, it's a hustle. So you can see so many people, they are tired. They are saying that this is not a movement, this is a hustle. Critical thinking is returning. Some are finally fact-checking what they used to accept blindly. They are watching videos or reading articles outside the echoes chambers, listening to the moderate or even left learning voice just compared, asking hard question and not liking the answer. This cognitive dissonance is leading to some real, what the hell was I part of movement? So let's go to number 4, personal losses or betrayal. Some MAGA supporters lost friend and family over politics, jobs or reputation due to extremism, money from donation, attending rallies, or getting involved in failed cause like Stop the Steal. So you can see many MAGA people, they lost friends because of the how the immigration also it is dealing with the people. We have been seeing how the ICE it is we have seen how the ICE they are dismantling the families, how they are separating the families. Now the ICE they don't even care if you are American. So if they are going to, even they are starting to harass and kidnap those American people, they still want them to get their history. So right now majority of MAGA people, they are really regretting to why they voted for this administration. So kindly guys, and also you can give your thought on the comment section. You can tell me what do you think of today's topics. Right now we have seen this MAGA, they are regretting, but for me I keep on telling them that they are the ones who brought all this problem. If they could listen to the black people warning them not to vote for Donald Trump, all these problem, all these effects that they are feeling right now, it couldn't be happening, because these people, they went ahead and vote against their own interest. They saw that black people, they want to put their fellow black person in power, so they didn't want like that. But black people saw what it is coming, and also we know Donald Trump is becoming a racist. He want to make sure that America, it is only for American people, and America is being painted with white. He only wants the white in America. He doesn't want any color in America. That's why he came out and gave orders to deport all illegal immigrants so that they can make their country great again. So kindly guys, you can also comment down below and tell me about your thoughts on today's topic. So kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye.